Jeff Hardy, where does he go from here? All right. So I did a lot of kind of like digging around, research and stuff for this topic specifically. And I just kind of wanted to go over where Jeff Hardy has been over the last, say, 2 years or so. Okay. So this is what I got for you, John.
All right.
Early 2019, the Hardys win the tag belts. Okay.
Yep.
They have them for 3 weeks, 21 days. Then Jeff gets injured.
Yep.
And
Hurt his knee.
He's out for 10 and a half months.
Yep.
Okay. In that time that he's out, he gets arrested twice.
Yep.
Once in July for public intoxication, once in October for driving while impaired. Now,
yep.
You know, it's not like this has never happened. Jeff has a history, unfortunately. I don't know if it was the injury, if he fell off the wagon because of pain meds. I don't know. But I'm just stating what happened. Okay. So they went from the WWE loving them, tag team champs. Now it seems that Jeff is starting to fall apart a little bit. So March of 2020 comes around and Jeff makes his return. He's there for like about a month and a half, 2 months. Then he starts a feud with Sheamus, which goes from May to July.
Yep.
Right after this feud starts, they do the arrested angle. Obviously playing on the stuff that happened while he was out. He gets arrested for crashing his car into Elias. Arrested, quote unquote. For those of you on the podcast, I'm quoting arrested because it was all obviously kayfabe. So in this time, they run this thing like every fucking week, and I remember it, and I was getting so tired of it because we had just started Off the Ropes, and I was just getting back. I was watching like everything, everything WWE each week for like the majority of that year until I started to burn myself out. So I saw this stuff, and it got old real fast.
So fast.
Then in August, he challenged AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship and won it, held it for about 6 weeks or so. Then he gets drafted to Raw in October. He has a feud with Elias after Elias returns because Elias was out. He had a few specialty matches with Elias. He did a guitar and a pole match, a Symphony of Destruction match, both of which he won. Okay. So it's like, okay, they're giving him some wins here. That looks good. Then he comes the Royal Rumble. He's an early entrant. He's like entrant number 5. Doesn't really do a whole lot in the Rumble. Pretty forgettable. He teams up with Carlito after Carlito came back at the Rumble. Teams up with him once to end his feud with Elias in a tag match. Elias was tagged with Jackson Riker in this match. Then he went and was unsuccessful at Elimination Chamber and has not been, or it was nowhere to be found, I should say, at WrestleMania 37. He wasn't even in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Nowhere. In 2021, Jeff has lost the majority of his matches, and just this past week on Raw, lost easily to Jinder Mahal. So, that's the breakdown of Jeff Hardy for the last 2 years. Where do we think he's going? Honestly, I don't think he's going anywhere. And I mean this in a bad way. I don't think the WWE knows what to do with him. I don't think they have faith in him. And he's got like a year or two left on his contract. I have a feeling we're going to see this exact same type of thing. Him barely being around, losing matches. Maybe he'll get a win here and there. Maybe he'll have a little feud with a C-lister. And then he'll fade away. Maybe he'll go to another company. But I think this is the end of Jeff. I think this is his final run for the E. I really do. So, John, thoughts? I'm sure you have a lot.
I want to start by saying, if what you're saying is right, maybe Jeff Hardy will fade away and classify himself as obsolete and join Matt in AEW. And we get the Broken Hardys back. And I love that made you laugh.
I'll be honest. That pun was not intended. I did not mean to say.
I'm really good at turning a phrase, man. You know that. I get that little bit, and I can just run with it. Let me ask you this. Do you think WWE has any longevity plans for Jeff? Do you think they would want to renew his contract?
No, I don't.
No?
He's in his early 40s, so like he's up there. They could have really done more with him. Like, he won that Intercontinental Championship. They could have ran with that. He could have been the IC champ for like 3-4 months, but no. Yeah, I think it was like 37 days is what I read. Wow. 37 days. That's it.
Because then he ended up having that feud with AJ Styles and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, and so I'm just like that to me, it showed that they needed a placeholder for this title.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like. Well, and since they've just essentially shit on him since, I just don't see them having confidence in him.
See, that's what bugs me. 2008, Jeff Hardy was like the top of the company.
Yeah.
Outselling merchandise against John Cena. He was the world heavyweight champion. Like, he wasn't the world heavyweight champion first. He was WWE champion first. And after he had a good run with Edge and Triple H and shit, he ends up as the world heavyweight champion fighting people Edge and CM Punk. And I mean, I believe there was an Alberto Del Rio feud in there, maybe. I don't really remember much. But then, then he stepped up like the whole face paint thing, just the Taker in that Extreme Rules match. And he's like, yeah. And then Jeff's like, okay, I need a break. He went back to Impact for a little bit. He comes back to the WWE with his brother, and they're on fire, just like you said.
Yeah.
And then WWE's like, okay. Split them. Matt ends up with a shit gimmick and a very broken version of broken Matt Hardy. Ends up tag teaming with Bray Wyatt, makes that work as best that they could, and they made it work.
Yeah.
And then Jeff comes back from injury, and WWE's like, well, we could give you your brother again, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep you separate. And I don't ever understand why. Because, yes, Jeff is entertaining by himself, but then they just do the same shit they always do. Oh, Jeff has been a substance abuser. Jeff's a druggie. Oh, Jeff can't be by himself because Jeff's a problem person.
Yeah.
And I hate that. Because Jeff Hardy is still so very popular amongst all the fans all the time.
Yeah.
And he sat down in a recent interview and even told fans that they could, if the crowd starts coming back. No More Words was coming back. Like, he's promised that theme will be back. So I know he has plans to stick around. But why stick around? I mean, maybe he's going to, like, not for the pun on this one, maybe he's going to fade out and he's elevating talent because maybe he knows he's got a limited time left with the WWE.
It's possible.
And he knows he's going to go out, so might as well just elevate some talent while he can.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's definitely possible. It's a bummer. But
I mean, it's a real bummer.
If this is him saying, I know I'm not long for it. This is probably my last run. I want to help push some of these other guys. If it's his choice, I can be okay with that. But part of me doesn't think it is. You know what I mean? I mean, we'll probably never really know. But I don't know.
Not really. Not until like interviews afterwards and stuff happen. I mean, Jeff is very good about when he's unhappy with a company, he keeps it respectful. Yeah. He doesn't blast the WWE. He's never shit on the WWE after they released him or anything back in the day. Yeah. He was like, I had a good time there. I did some shit. I was stupid. I mean, when he left the company the first time back in I think it was 02, 03, whenever it was way back in the day, and he went to TNA the very, very first time. He was fucking kid still. He was in his 20s. Of course, he wasn't in his 20s. I think he was in his 30s, but still.
I mean, he might have been. So let's see. If it was, let's say it was 2004 even. That'd be 17 years ago.
Yeah.
He would have been 27.
Yeah, so he'd have still been decently young.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew what he wanted with his career. He wanted more than just wrestling, and WWE wasn't giving it to him. But he never shit on the WWE for that. He was like, look, they started me. They made Jeff Hardy who he was. Yeah. He thanked him for his time. He went to Impact. He made, in my personal opinion, the first time he went to Impact Wrestling, that is when Jeff Hardy finally realized what his potential was. And when he came back to the WWE, there was a different version of Jeff. And I can remember the night he returned because me and you were watching it.
Oh, yeah.
Edge was in the ring with his Rated R title, and Jeff Hardy comes back, and Edge is like, oh, don't tell me you're going to waste your return on me. And Jeff didn't say anything, but he muttered the words, you talk too much. And he was going like this. He's like, you talk too much.
Yeah.
And then he fucking twisted too
much.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that, man.
Yeah. And I remember being like, wow, Jeff looks growing up. And
yeah,
okay, so to parallel that, because while we're talking about Jeff Hardy, I want to talk about something else really quick, because you'll understand where I'm going with this. Somebody had brought up to me the other day when I was talking to them about this whole Jeff Hardy thing that Edge kind of went through something similar, but he never left the company. It was the injury.
Oh, yeah.
So in 2009, Edge had to retire from professional wrestling due to not being able to wrestle because of his neck. We all know that. 11 years later, he comes back at the Royal Rumble, and he's he looked phenomenal. He had completely transformed himself. Edge had a great career before he retired. He was a multi-time heavyweight champion. He was a multi-time world heavyweight champion, intercontinental champion, tag team champion. The man had WrestleMania moments. He had a storybook career. But Edge had the business taken away from him.
Yeah.
Edge was told he could not wrestle anymore. He didn't retire on his own like some of these guys do. He was told, hey, we really know that this is what you love. This is what you love. But you could never fucking have it again. Yeah. Sorry. I don't blame Edge for coming back and being as fucking hyped up and fucking over as he is right now. Because that man lives and breathes this business. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Edge looks even better now than he did 11 years ago in the hype of his career, that tells you right there that that man has a dedication, just like Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy's always the one who says he will not die. Well, Jeff Hardy is still fucking relevant in my eyes. Boom. Mic drop.
I like it, man. I like it a lot. And yeah, I don't know what else to say for that, man. You just literal mic drop on that. So I think with that, everybody, I want you right now, hop on Twitter, hop into the comments here on YouTube, head over to Anchor and leave us
the ropes inbox on Facebook.
Yeah. Anchor, leave us a voice message here. Here's our Twitter handle.
Voice message. Please leave us a voice message.
Let us know your thoughts. Both the Young Bucks and Jeff Hardy. I want to know what you guys, especially Jeff Hardy, because this was a big topic. We really dove into this one, and I actually loved it. It was fantastic. So let us know your thoughts on all of it. Where do you think Jeff Hardy's going? Do you think he's being underused, or do you think it's to elevate all this young talent? I don't know. We'll see. Let us know what you think about all of that.
Let us know down below.
Down below. All right.